Has this started or not? I guess we are live. How's it going? Not sure if people are here yet. Guess we're just getting ready for the game reviews. Oh, cool. Yeah, thanks for letting me know. All right. Hello, welcome. Yeah, so I'll try to adjust that. Trying to adjust my mic volume. Um, is it better now? Maybe I just need to speak louder. I am doing well, thank you, Anton. How are you? Yeah, I guess I'll have to just speak a bit louder then. Hopefully it will be alright. Is the volume better or still pretty low? Sleepy? Oh, okay. Let me see how I can Oh, hey Ben. Good to see you here. Okay, thanks. I'll also try to speak a bit louder. Yeah, it's been a while since I streamed. Yeah. So yeah, today's mostly just gonna be doing game reviews for the North American Online League. Um, we'll be doing 3 reviews and probably about 1 hour stream. I just started a bit early. Uh, yeah, it's been a while. Oh, awesome. Yeah, cool. Um, yeah, so I've got 3 games lined up. I'll be joining a Zoom call in a bit. And I'll be doing some game reviews. I have 3 games lined up, and I think these are around 2Q, 1 2D, and 1Q. So in that range. Yeah. Hey, Guruji. Yeah, so gonna try it out, see how the stream works. If it works well. Oh yeah. I have found the solution though, I think. Oh, actually, I'm not sure about that. Hey, welcome. Yeah, it's a difficult problem. So I thought we could attach here, but white's gonna block, and if we cut, white's gonna Atari. I don't think that will kill, actually. Bit of a problem. Oh, okay, yeah. I've been getting a lot of feedback on that, so let me try to adjust that a little bit before we start the review officially. Um, I've bumped it up a little more. Did that help? Oh, this is a difficult problem. It kind of looks like the one where you're supposed to do the shortage of liberties, but I don't think it directly works. Hmm. Let's see. Tari. Oh, 15 wedge or Atari. Atari is gonna be difficult to work because there's a connect and die there. So white's gonna cut. O15 might work, but yeah, I don't think it will work. White can still resist. It's got to be one of these inside ones. So I'm just reading that out. Cut. Yeah, cutting won't work either. Wait, this is actually a pretty hard problem. I don't see the solution yet. O17 cut. O17. O17. White's gonna tar on the left though. So, Yeah, there's some shortage of liberties thing, but it's hard to get it to work. So I'm just gonna try and get the link back up. Yeah, so I'm just gonna join the Zoom call in a bit. And O16 then N17. So O16, white's gonna connect, and then N17. I think white's gonna block though. Yeah, difficult problem, isn't it? I was tempted to attach, but I failed to get it working because after white blocks on the right, when black cuts, white's gonna Atari. But at that point, if you throw in, white's gonna capture, and that's not gonna work. Oh, wait, but you can just Atari. Oh, okay, okay. I think I dismissed one of my working solutions. That's why. So if we attach at N17, I thought white's gonna play on the right here, but black can cut. And if white Ataris, then black can just play L18. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. Also, if white connects, black can just extend, and then white has to connect, and black can wedge first before making the Atari. And in which case, white's not gonna be able to cut there, and that will work. Well, it's a nice little problem. And then we just do the throw in. Yeah, it's a pretty cool problem. All right. So hopefully the audio's doing okay for everyone. I think I'm gonna join the Zoom call now, and we're gonna start the game reviews very soon. Hey there. Hey. Um. Yeah. So I have the stream going, and I've just joined the Zoom call. I'm gonna try and make sure I see the chat there, and also share my screen. Been just doing some life and death right before we got started there. Oh, great, great. So here we go. Um, yeah, I guess image not quite as good. I'll just put the Zoom chat there, and maybe I'll also put the stream chat there as well. I'm gonna try to see how this works. Oh, but I'll be blocking part of it. Well, yeah, just so we can see both chats. Um, I guess we'll put it like that, just so I'm not blocking anyone. All right. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, we have 3 games lined up to review today. And I usually just go in order, if that's okay with. Um, yeah, I guess we just have to make sure we mute the. Okay, thank you, Nolan. Yeah, so we have the. Do we have the players? Um, oh, great. Yeah, we all have our days. Yeah, so I guess first let's start with whether we have any specific questions for me. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I guess we'll just go through the game, and I'll see if I will nitpick some stuff. I'm getting a bit of lag here, unfortunately. And I also got a comment that we are pretty laggy. So And that's probably because of my laptop is pretty archaic. I'm just gonna make sure I get everything. Alright, yeah. It's because of my computer. Yeah. Um, yeah. Image, yeah. Image is like zero point 0.1 FPS. Um, choppy video. Yeah. Is it the zoom? It could be the zoom. Um, let me see if I can do something about it. Okay. It seems to be a little bit better on my end. Uh, after I stopped the the camera, so hopefully at least I can see my mouse hovering. Okay. Well, we spent enough time with the setup. Yes. We're gonna get going. All right. So let's get to the game, and yeah. So the first interesting move is this two space jump, and wonder what we think about this move. So it's clearly trying to pressure black. It's pretty. Yeah. So the thing with this type of move is that you you could get into a situation where your opponent can ignore, but you can't really punish. Um, so I think this is kind of like one of those moves. So in the next move, White's going to push up or probably diagonal and take the base. But probably either case, Black is okay. Black can come out. So this move is it could be questionable. It's clearly a threat, but I think Black would consider uh, just ignoring it. Oh, this attachment. I see. There's a problem with this sequence actually. Um, can White push through? So there are three in a row here, right? So normally White doesn't push three times, but in this case, White is pushing three times, and that is very important for the corner situation. Normally, you can't push through, right? But because it's three, when you block and White cuts, uh, the push and cut doesn't directly work. So if you descend now, and we have this sequence. This is actually a very interesting sequence, and I think a lot of people get tricked by it. So it's good to go over this one. Um, so you see, this is like the big-headed go situation, right? And now, if you're wondering if White can Atari, this doesn't work because Black can Atari this way, and the corner White stone is actually dead. If White extends, Black can Hane, and White's actually dead there. So this actually doesn't work. White has to Atari. But if White Ataris, we have this throw-in situation, which is a very common sequence of moves for liberty reduction, right? And then now, we have an interesting situation. So black can live in the corner, but if black does this and lives, white gets the first move on the outside. So that's probably a bit dangerous, right? White's going to attack the whole thing, and even though black lives, but this middle weak group is very heavy, right? So that's not going to be good. Um, yeah. So here, if there's a few interesting situations that um, might come up in your game. So one of which is sometimes it's a three space. Let me just move the chat back. So if we had three space pincer, now this will work. And this situation is very interesting. And I have seen multiple times that people get tricked by this. So what would happen here? So it would be exactly the same. Those of you who are fast at reading can probably beat me to it. And black has a Tsuji here. Black doesn't have to directly go into the corner. Does anyone see this Tsuji here? It's a very nice move. Does anyone see it? It's not the Hane. Because Hane white can clamp and white can escape fairly easily. N17. N17, white can still connect back. So the Tsuji, yes, it is this one. And so this is a very interesting situation. Now, if white directly goes in here, black's gonna Hane, and now white cannot come out. So if white reduces, this is obviously not going to work for white. But you might wonder, okay, well, I can exchange this first, and I can get into a situation where white takes the ko first, right? But if you imagine, if you look at the sequence here, if black just gets any two moves, it's actually going to be good for black. Because this is actually not that big, but the ko is super heavy for white, right? White can't even lose this ko. And so here, white would have fallen for the trap. So in order to connect, the only move is this one. And black actually can't cut. If black plays O18, white can Hane and then cut. So black blocks here, and white Hanes, and black can block again. And now you can see how this is pretty good for black, because initially black would live in Gote, right? But this is a Sente sequence, and white has to connect again. So this is actually pretty good for black, because black lives in Sente, and black gets the next move, right? So I see a lot of people get fooled by this. As white, what's the conclusion? The conclusion is white can't push through here. It actually doesn't work. So if it's a three-space pincer, the correct move here is the Hane. But the reason why I'm pointing this out actually is in the game, there's a sequence, there's a move that black forgot to exchange. And this is a very important shape move. So after this, if white just connects, white would be really comfortable, right? The shape is all nice and complete, and there's no weakness anymore, right? But what black should do here is push first. And at this moment, the push is very, very important. Yeah, so that's right. So white should have pushed through because it was closer. That's right. But in this case, if after pushing, when black blocks, after the Atari, how can white fix? Right? The only way for white to really fix is to go in the middle, but that's very inefficient, right? So it's very important for us to recognize these very important shape points where if you make this, you really make your opponent's shape uncomfortable. Even though this is empty triangle, but white can't really fix this well. And so this is, yeah. So here, white didn't connect. White pushed up and double Hane. Yeah, so this looks fine. This is a bit of a interesting point here. Let's see. That's fine. Yeah. I think it's reasonable. Now, I would not play the Joseki this way. This is definitely not the correct. So, yeah. Black should Hane first, yeah. I would just go with the normal Joseki. Some people like to play the special one where you directly Knights move, but these kinds of moves are usually harder to control. So I usually don't recommend that. So I think just oh, I can actually click this. Yeah, so yeah, I would just do this and jump out. Yeah. The problem with this is you never want to extend 3 and jump out because you actually haven't extended enough. And so how does white take advantage of this shape here? Again, it's the 3 shape. So if white pushes and then Hane, black would be very uncomfortable. Do you see that? Because you can't block because white's going to cut here and you're going to have to connect inside, right? And that's very uncomfortable shape. So you have to either just Knights move or directly Knights move. Like that. Or you just finish the Hane and connect because you have that stone there. So you could finish that shape and then jump out. Yeah, so the way to leave it flexible is you just directly play this. And that's possible. Yeah. I guess the main point here for this game review that we touched upon is really the shape understanding, right? So some shapes you can make efficient, and those are quite powerful because right, Go is all about efficiency. If you can do more with less stones, then you're the boss, right? And so finding the right shape and making the right shape at the right moment can really change the whole picture. And we saw that in multiple places already here. Yeah, so before spending too long here, I want to get to the middle game. Yeah, this definitely isn't very efficient. So for one, you can descend, and that's going to be at least better for points. But yeah, this doesn't look that comfortable. I think black should probably get an exchange here first. You could actually do that before descending here to live. Whenever you get into this situation, it can't be good, right? If white plays here, you're gonna have to spend another move just to make another eye here, right? And none of these moves are doing much. They're just making 1 point here and there. And and the key there is how efficient your shapes are, right? Because your shapes weren't really efficient, you had to spend more moves, so your opponent was able to get to these places faster than you could, and that was very important. Um, yeah, for this you should never Hane inside. So the move here is you either extend into the corner or you extend out. Um, because you can, like, if you imagine white attaching here, you're never gonna go into the 3-3, right? You always block. And it's basically like, after they clamp, it's basically like when they attach, you pull back, right? And even the attachment is a good exchange for white. So locally, this is not really acceptable. You should either extend here. This obviously loses a bit of points because white can live in the corner. Or you extend here and be very aggressive and say, okay, if you come out, I'm going to attack you. So these two are the main options. Sometimes you can Hane outside, but this is it's very, very rare that I would say like one in 100 at least that this is the move. So it's either 3-3 or it's this one. Yep. I see that. Yep. And yeah, so the thing, yeah, you always have to invade early. When it's too late, it's very, very hard. Here, white made a mistake. White should connect. Here, black gets sente. Here, black gets sente. Okay, so it looks like it's pretty straightforward from here. Yeah. Yep, no problem. Yeah, I think the first thing is you should think more about it at first. Like, if you don't keep that in mind, you're never going to make the right shape, right? If you start thinking more about, oh, which shapes always become so inefficient, right? You don't want to have dumplings everywhere on the board. So, like, if you first start paying more attention to it, that's the first step. Yep. All right, so let's move on to this second game, House Sun versus Machinist. We have two players here. Oh yeah, we do. Oh, Machinist. Okay, is that wrong? Oh, we have both players. Awesome. Yeah, so I guess we'll first start by whether you have any specific questions for me. Yeah, I see. Yeah. So that's a very difficult question to answer, but it is a very important question to think about. Yeah, so the question is, how do you improve on dealing with invasions, reduction, etc. So I guess I'll give you the easy answer first. So the easy answer is obviously that you need to improve your reading. If you can see more moves and know what's going on, then you'll have better idea what's happening, and that will help you make decisions. For example, here when black pincers, if white ignores, what happens when black clamps here? Right? That's a very big weakness here in white's shape. And yeah, so white's probably gonna get cut off, and this whole group is gonna be in trouble here, right? So the first thing is you should pay attention to where weaknesses are, and you have to make sure you know, you make sure you remember them. So yeah, the first thing is for this Joseki, we should always, that's why we should always play here, because this is like one move fix it all. Even though it's less points, but you have much less to worry about when black plays over on this side, right? So it's better because it's overall more efficient. Um, the other thing is I don't really recommend playing this Joseki anymore, because locally black will gain a bit more for this Joseki. So this is one of the Josekis that I think has become much rarer these days, and mostly for the reason that you just don't gain that. White just doesn't gain that much for taking the corner first, right? White's supposed to be better off at the end, but here we can see that black actually gains more points than white does, and it's very hard for white to use the influence. But I guess, like, yeah, back to the invasion thing. The first thing is you have to know where your weaknesses are, or in general, where weaknesses are. And I'll give you another example for that, which is here, right? After black extends, this cut is, it's very delicate thing. There's a timing for that, and that's something both players also have to keep in mind. It doesn't exist now, but it could play a role when you fight. And one more thing I'll say about this, like in general, is when you invade, don't just throw a stone somewhere and hope that some magic happens. So when you're invading, you should try and put stones where you're aiming at a weakness, or you should be trying to go for something. So when people in, so let me see if I can find an example of that. Oh, actually, this happened later. So let me see if I can find an example of an invasion that. Okay, we just start fighting. I guess we don't. Yeah. Okay. No example in this game, unfortunately. Let's see. Okay, then I'll have to make an example. I'll have to make one somehow. Um, I guess like for something like this, I guess this is a very basic shape, right? And white can invade here, right? So let's say you just put a stone here. That's a really bad way to invade because you don't. There's no next move, and when black plays here, you just don't have anything. You don't have anywhere to go, right? So that's definitely not a good idea. So what you want to be doing is you want to be more threatening, and you want to have a next move. So a common way to invade this, yeah, so you can play S16, you can play S15, both of these work. And the idea here is you're threatening to go into the corner, right? And when black answers, then you're going to have more stones, and that's going to help you invade better, right? It's going to help you build a base. For example, if you play like this, and you play, right, you already have a base, and the invasion is just going to go much easier. So that final point is look for a weakness that you can threaten, and don't just throw a stone and try to come up with something and hope some magic happens. Yeah. Hope that helps a bit. Any other specific questions? I see. Do we? We have a bit of confusion here. Oh, okay. Huh. All right. So you're not nationalist? Okay. I see. All right. Wrong game. I see. So this is pretty bad, right? Um, Black Black's territory got invaded here. So what went wrong? Yep. Um, yeah, can we not mark the screen, please? Thank you. Yeah, so yeah, that's reasonable because white got Gote and black got to attack the group. Yeah. But one problem here is that you might not. Yeah, so the cut is definitely a shape point for white. It makes white very uncomfortable. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. Yeah, so this is a problem though for black. Why is this a problem? Anyone realize the problem here? This result after this move is not good for black. Yes. You attacked white, but the result is that white got sente. So which is the problematic move? Yes. Yes, that one. Yeah. So here you don't have to respond, right? Let's if you pretend the game looked like this, are you gonna spend a move to connect the one stone? I hope not. Right? So you should be taking Sente here. You can enclose this, make white live, and then you can, expand or take the corner. There are plenty of things that are bigger than saving this one stone. Yeah, so that's another thing. In the middle game, having the first move is worth a lot, right? Each move you can do so much, so make sure you're paying attention to the Sente and Gote. Yeah, I think here, this is definitely a bit greedy. I think all black needs to do is push through. Yep, and then connect. H9 or F9. Okay. By the way, in the chat for the stream, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to speak up. Yeah, this is where reading becomes very, very important. Because if you can read this accurately, the difference between this variation and the one in the game, in this variation, it's much more difficult for white to make something, right? If white extends, yeah, then you just block. There, yeah, it looks dangerous. So the problem here is that when white connects, it's Sente. You're gonna have to fix, and white just comes out. So it's too easy for white here. Yeah. What's the shape move here for black right now? Yeah, very good. This diagonal, yeah. It's in the middle, right in the middle, it connects this, right? So here black wouldn't have to worry about anything further for this whole group. So this is a very good move. And over here, white obviously can't break through. So probably white's gonna die in the middle here. With this, it's not a good exchange, right? When white connects, you're actually helping white create a backdoor. Because now white can Atari twice and then connect. So very, very big mistake here. That allowed white to... This way? Why would this help with that, though? It makes it worse. That was my point, right? It makes this... The problem is... H6. Oh no, not H6. Yeah. So the problem is still this connection. It's not here. There's nothing here. And you extend. You extend. Okay, we're gonna skip the reading part. Okay, so just yeah. But I guess this is a problem, right? This is something you can work on, I think. Looking at these middle game fighting situations, we are. Can we please not mark the screen, please? We can either put it in the chat. Yeah, thanks. Um, yeah, so we've actually encountered multiple situations where reading has been it has like you've chosen a variation because of unclear reading, and that has impacted your middle game, right? In multiple occasions. Yeah, okay. So looks like yeah. So this is obviously White's very happy here. Um and then this okay. Now, why would White play there? So, final thing, I'm not going to spend too long here, but if this happens, I think Black's just going to die. Uh, Maybe just exchange this one. This is looking really bad for Black right now. Yeah, so, yeah. I guess this just reinforces how important reading is again. Yeah. Being able to see something like this clearly is gonna make your decisions much more reliable. Yeah, just gotta read it. No other way. Is that question because you don't like doing Sumego? Yeah, so that's an interesting question. How do we generally improve our reading? Apart from Sumego, there's another way, but unfortunately, it also requires a lot of patience. And that's correcting your bad habits. And what by that I'm referring to um, when people play, people don't have the habit of reading a lot. That's something that I've noticed when I do reviews or just in general when I teach is most people don't read very much when they play. And you can kind of like you can think about like how much that will improve your game actually. Because if you just read more in a game, you're going to see way more things. Your decisions will be way different, right? So the way to improve on that is just get in a habit. Like you have to force yourself to read more every single move. And you have to like set a constant reminder for you to read more. And that will help improve your reading significantly because you're basically doing real game life and death problems. But there's no easy way. You just have to grind it out. Yeah. Well, not necessarily that I can show you, but I don't know how much that would help you, to be honest. Um, okay, I was moved to the uh, okay, okay. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so there are definitely ways you can get out of this, but I'm just not sure how much it would benefit you. Like I can tell you the answer, but how would that get you closer to finding the answer next time? Do you know what I mean? No, you just have to read it. There's no shape thing that will work in every single situation. Um, so yeah, in the end, you will just have to read it. Yeah. Let me get the screen share going again. Yeah. Yeah, but if you don't actually talk about the moves, it's useless thinking about a situation like this. Yes, I can tell you about some general stuff, but you just have to look at the sequence. So one thing you could do is you can push and like this, and you can push through, and you can push through like this. Yeah, but the thing is, like, I can tell you the answer, but I don't know how helpful that is for you. Like, yes, I can tell you the answer right now, and I can, because I can read it, right? But yeah, you might be able to descend here and fight. That's another possibility. I just don't know how useful that is. Like, um, yeah, but did you read exactly? But the thing is, you have to read exactly what white can do with that. Like, you can't say, "Oh, I was worried about something," but you have to say a very specific sequence that works for white. You know what I mean? So if you just say, "Oh, maybe white can do something with that," that doesn't actually contain. No, 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 no. This is completely the wrong way to think about it, and this is actually a really good point that we're getting to. Um, if you're fighting, there's nothing else. You just read it. That's it. If you just go by anything else, you're gonna be wrong half of the time because it's not valuable information. Um, this is a actually a very common thing, and sorry to pick on you for this, but this is a very common thing that I see. And so yes, this might not be good shape, but you have to read out like exactly what white can do, and that's what's gonna help you find the right move. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you just have to grind out some problems, read further, and that's definitely going to help you win games. Promise you that. All right, so I guess we went a bit over. Any final comments before we move on? Hope I didn't pick on you too much. Sorry about that. All right, so let's move on to the next game. We have half is less than one. Very interesting nickname. and T. Shellix. Do we have the players here? Oh, I totally forgot to check the chat. How far do you normally read? This is a so Chunky Gecko asks how far do you normally read 10 moves or more? Does it depend on positions? Yeah, so that's a really good question. So how far should you be reading? And that's another thing. Like you can't always read everything, right? There's so far that you can read in a game, and so the general rule there that I usually give is you read far enough so that you're convinced uh, that your conclusion is correct. It's kind of a vague way to put it, but that's how far you have to read. So if it requires 10 moves for you to see something is happening, then you need to read 10 moves. So like for example, I don't know, I'll just play some random thing. So like, there are a lot of things that you can read, right? But you can't read everything. So you have to pinpoint what's relevant and just read that, and you have to read those branches far enough so that your decision is well informed. Um, so it could be 10 moves, it could be 5 moves, but it could be 5 different branches, right? Some situations will only have like 1 or 2 particular branches that you need to read, but some variations might have a lot of more choices, and in that case you will have to read those. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. I guess, yeah, it does. In short, it depends on the board position. And yes, burps. We will be going to the Go Congress in Cleveland. So if anyone is going there, I guess I will see you there. All right. Yeah. Read far enough to make your crazy ideas work. Yeah, pretty much. Depends on how crazy it is. So I guess the players aren't here. So we'll just go through the game, I guess, and let me know if we get to a point where you like to discuss. Oh, I see this so frequently. This Joseki. Now, how should this Joseki go? I guess the chat is a bit delayed, so maybe if I don't see your question until later, hopefully I'll get to it at some point. So does anyone know how this Joseki should go? What happens when white directly invades here? Go ahead. Sorry. R16. Yes, that is one of them. White pulls back, and then you can extend. And then white can descend or connect. I think descend is more common. And that's it. So here black at Tanuki, and that's the end of that Joseki. So the reason for this is that black gets an extra extension, so white would have to fix the shape. So that's why this Joseki looks like so. The other option is black blocks the other way, and then connect. This is another point where I see this Joseki played incorrectly so many times. Black should not wedge, black should directly connect. And then white descends and black descends. White blocks, and then black could either jump or pincer. But one might argue this direction is probably not that good for black. So black probably will choose the other one. And so, like that. Yeah, but here, black definitely should not be spending yet another move to fix this. It's definitely not good. So the opening... Oh, I was just gonna say, the opening is starting to look really good for white until this move. Yeah, this is definitely not good. Why is this not good? Yeah. Yeah, so it's playing in a way that completely disregards this H3 stone. And that white should definitely cut here. This is the only move. Yeah, it does look like black at Atari and push, but that's just something black will gain in over here. Black might just push through like this and maybe Atari and block this, but that's just a trade there. Yeah, this is another shape thing. If you allow your shape to become this, this is just really inefficient, right? After black Atari's here, black should have connected, and this white stone is hurt. So if white cuts, then that's fine because black can just sacrifice the stone and then come back here. So this result is not good for white. Okay, and then finally white comes back. But black did gain something. Black got this jump. This jump is quite comfortable for black. So it looks still pretty even, I guess. Black's opening was a bit slow, but now black was able to get this jump, which is good for reducing white here. Wow, this is interesting. And then, yeah, I don't think this location of the board is that purposeful. There's just not much that either player can gain anymore. I would just directly play something on the lower right here. At least the player should be getting Sente, but like something like this, I just don't see what exactly it's doing. That's unlike me. So here white's cutting the stone off. Yeah, so like this whole sequence here, the motive is unclear. It's like yeah, it's like we're solving a murder mystery, but we don't really know what the players are trying to do. So like here, it's kind of like that. It's like it's a little bit messy, right? The players are getting entangled in a very big fight, but we don't really know what the players are going for, and that's a really big problem, right? When you play a move, you have the purpose has to be clear at least, right? It needs to be doing whatever you need to do. Like here, the value is not that much, and also like white's trying to cut off this stone, which also is not really that big either. And really, I think the player should be focusing in the lower right now. So looks like a quick fight here. And we have a ko happening, and wow, this is a pretty big reading mistake, I guess. It's definitely not going to kill. Yeah, I'm not sure what was reading there, but this is definitely not gonna kill. And Black's already alive, so I really don't know what's going on here. Black can just extend and just kill White here. So here it's a really important guess. You know, if either player saw that, that would have changed the outcome by a lot. And we're still, yeah, neither of these moves are required. Black was already alive, but finally White came back and made this alive. Yeah, also like this is not Sente. Yeah, again, like this is what I mean by like you need to be reading, right? So here, what happens when Black just plays somewhere else? Can White throw in? Exactly. This can't connect back. Oh, but actually, I missed something here. This is that corner thing, isn't it? Okay. I made a mistake here, actually. It's under the stones, I guess. But the interesting thing here is that it's a double ko, because when Black... Oh no, this is not even a ko. When Black plays here, White can't actually take away the eye. So Black is still fine. So that's interesting. But, I mean, something like this could just completely change a game. I mean, here, whoever plays this, like, Black can just kill the entire left side if Black sees that, right? And obviously White would make this alive if White didn't play that B18 move. So this is a bit of messy here. I guess I'll skip forward now. And I've been talking about reading a lot already. Okay, I guess I can't really stop talking about reading. If Black just cuts here, doesn't this just die? It does, doesn't it? If White pushes through, Black could even block this, so it doesn't even work. Um, yeah, this is all not necessary. And then interestingly, White fixes it by getting some peep that... So it looks like at this point White is okay again. And that's good. White sacrifices the 5 stones, which is definitely the correct way. Okay. We're just about out of time, and since the players are not here, I'm not gonna go over time today. Yeah, so theme of today's review, 2 things. Reading for sure, yeah. And also shape, I guess, right? So shape, thinking about efficiency of your shape and trying to make your shape do more with less stones. And definitely reading. Yeah. Go, everyone who watches this, go, after you turn off the video, go and do 20 Sumego problems. That's gonna be your homework because everyone watching this video should realize how important reading is. Yeah, thanks a lot. You're welcome. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Hope you learned something today, and I will catch you next time.